You want the lobster to be feisty. I mean, you want to see activity. You want to know that it is still alive and like vivacious.
When the lobster gets upset, the tail should snap. It should always have a dark green or an olive brown color to it.
Another thing I look for is a nice firm shell.
Lobsters come in different sizes. You have the smaller type, which is what we call a canner. It ranges anywhere from half a pound to a pound. The other lobsters we have most commonly are about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. The jumbos range from 2.5 to 5 pounds.
The best way to store an Atlantic Canadian lobster is in a lobster tank with salt water. You can certainly store Atlantic Canadian lobster in a refrigerator as well, in a pan with some holes in it.
Cover it with a wet towel, because that's what kills the lobsters, the cold air that's circulating. One thing that you should not do is store them in water in the fridge. Unless you can reproduce basically salt water from the ocean, they will probably die on you within a couple of hours. And you want your lobsters to be alive when you cook them, because they deteriorate very, very fast once they're dead.
You can keep an Atlantic Canadian lobster in the refrigerator for up to 2 days under the right conditions.
Live lobsters come with rubber bands that go over the claw in the pincher. You keep these on for safety reasons until just before you're about to cook them.
Once they're off, you want to be really, really careful, because those little creatures, they can do a number on your hand.
If it's not meant to be in the flavor, then don't put it in. I haven't heard anyone want the subtle nuance of rubber band in their lobster.
Cooked lobster can be stored in an airtight container in its shell in the fridge for 3 days. Outside of its shell for 4 days. Cooked lobster meat can also be frozen and kept for a later time.
Frozen lobster is at least as versatile as live lobster.
Frozen lobster is blast frozen to ensure its freshness and quality.
I'm going to show you how to thaw Atlantic Canadian frozen lobster.
Thawing frozen lobster should be done by submerging the package in cold water inside a refrigerator. Do not thaw frozen lobster at room temperature or in warm water. This will cause loss of quality.
They should be consumed preferably within 24 to 36 hours maximum after they've been thawed. And that's how you thaw Atlantic Canadian lobster.
When you start with cracking lobster, you want to first remove the claws.
Just going to take them, a little twist. If you leave them on, it makes it very hard afterwards to crack the claws. Okay.
Once you have the claws removed, then you separate the actual claw from the knuckle meat.
Probably one of my favorite components of the lobster is the knuckle meat. It's a cross between the texture of the tail and the texture of the claw. Some people are claw people, some people are tail people. I'm a knuckle person.
You want to loosen up the claw meat just to make sure that all the liquid is out.
I'll just give this a little wiggle, break that off, and then just give it a little pull. And you'll notice that that'll stay intact.
Crack the back, and twist with the knife. Your meat just slides right out. To take the tail out, you want to toss it from the body. Make sure it's all drained. Give it a crack on the inside. And then with a pair of scissors, slowly go down the side of it. This way we'll be able to remove the whole tail out of the shell. Now all the meat is removed, looks great, and will taste even better.